World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM New York.
Good afternoon. This is Tony Rogers, your host for Urbanology, The Art of War. And for some of you who may be new, my birth name is William Anthony Rogers, and Urbanology, The Art of War is kind of a play on words. I had a very long history. I have a very long history of studying and teaching The Art of War by Sun Tzu, and it was my son, I think, that when I was writing my second book, he said, "Tell me, Dad, it should be The Art of War, W period, A period, R period." And I said, "That's a pretty good idea." But nevertheless, that's where that is, and I when I'm talking to people, especially when they hear The Art of War, I just want to make sure that they understand that from Sun Tzu's perspective, the art of war is peace. We have a lot of war talk going around, and I don't want to get it conflicted. We are in the first few days of Harlem Week. A major event is going to take place. Well, all of the events are major, and I have a person who's going to talk to you more about that. I am just proud of what's going on. Harlem Week will celebrate its 52nd anniversary. Actually, Harlem Day will celebrate its 52nd anniversary, August the 16th. Because everything started as a day 52 years ago. And there's always conversation about leaders allowing for other people to follow in their footsteps, being mentors and those types of things. And they sometimes say that Africans born in America, Africans born in the Caribbean tend not to do that as often. One of the things that I can say, and I'm very proud of it, is over the 52 years, most of the leadership now are young people who came up to Harlem Week because it became a family. When you became older, you brought your children, and it was like that and has been like that. Uh, Last week, I had Marco Noble, who was my intern. He was a summer youth program, a high school student, and now he's the chair. I have the opportunity to now interview a young lady that I am also proud of. It's almost like the soapbox of all my children. Her name is Tamiko Evans, and Tamiko is really a talented sister, and I can't do her justice, so I'm going to introduce you to her so that you can understand where the pride comes from. Tamiko Evans is the second vice chair of Harlem Week Inc. Hello, Tamiko.
Hello, hello, Tony, and all of your audience. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, Tamiko, I'm trying to get this is historic. One of the things that Marco said, Cynthia Young had a memorial, as you know, a couple of weeks ago. And Cynthia Young passed, and she was a very important component of Harlem Week as we were growing. And her son, I call him Derek, but we call him his Baba Tunde now. And so is very much a part of many of the things we're doing, and also WHCR, which is a major component of this kind of family that we're developing. And what Marco said was that you, Marco, Day, Derek, and probably a couple of others will be the last generation to understand us. People like me. You know what I'm saying? After you, it's going to be. That's what they said that they were. It's going to be. It's not going to be. What that I would do it myself. There will be at some point some kids who can't say that about their moms or their grandmoms.
That's it. Marco's I think hit the hammer on the nail with that one. It's very true. As you were sharing the opening and you were talking about the 52 years and also just like how long not just Harlem Week has been running, but just how long that we've been working together. We have been in family and fellowship together for Harlem Week, Children of Harlem Week. You were talking about the Art of War, and I have to tell you, you gave me my first Art of War book, and
Okay.
and I was like 14 years old, and you signed it inside, and I still actually have it, and I actually gave it to my son Noah. So it is definitely
Wow.
intergenerational and family and fellowship and all those things. But yes, we probably will be the last generation that understands the generation before, and
And understanding Lord Williams and understanding the energy that came through to kind of pull us into this screaming and yelling, but you are the last cadre, and I am also, and I told this to Marco, I am so glad that you guys are who you are because the best of the best. But matter of fact, tell the listeners and viewers a little bit about Tamiko
Oh,
Evans.
thank you for the space and the grace to do that. You know, it started, I'll tell you a little bit about me, but I will also say this as an important piece of it, because understanding who all of you are came from being connected and so deeply and connected to Harlem Week from just a very young age, and why we call ourselves children of Harlem Week. But I want to say I am. Let's see. I've been doing since I was 14 years old. I've been a part of the Harlem Week family, in helping to shape it from back in the day when we actually mailed things, and put things in mailboxes with stamps. Um,
You
and that
remember licking the stamps and
yes,
with the sponge, and I was showing you how you could do 10 at a time.
right. That's right. That's right. Like, that's what gave us the grit, gave us some grit. And but that was my first entry, right, or entree into the work that I do and I've been doing for over 15 years, right? So it doesn't necessarily define me, but as it relates to everything that I've learned and all the years of being at Harlem Week, also came with that the love of storytelling, the love of marketing, the love of communications. It has become a fabric of the type of work and spaces that I've been doing for over 15 years. So, in addition to being closely woven to Harlem Week and all, I want to say almost every piece of programmatic or work there is to do. On the other side of that, I'm also a marketer as well. So I've led marketing and communications across international holding agency groups, holding companies. I've also worked in the nonprofit space as well, leading marketing and business development as well, storytelling, growth, and all of those things that are intimately important to the pieces of work that I've done. And so that breadth of experience has allowed me to bring that here to Harlem Week at this time when there's been, transition within the organization. And, as we continue to honor our legacy, also thinking about some of the things that we would do to make sure that we continue to build the bridges forward. But in addition to that, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a granddaughter, I'm an auntie, I'm all of those things, and love being able to have the honor of carrying the torch.
Well, again, when I think about you and the Marcos, and even when the Percy E. Suttons and the Hope R. Stevens and the people who did pretty much the same with Lloyd and myself, as far as because we're around your age. When Percy Sutton said we got to have something in Harlem because tourism is going to be a major component for the city, but I can't do it unless something is happening in Harlem. He says, "Give me one day, give me a day that you guys can bring together all of the cultural stuff, all of the entities that still makes up." Because in the '74, people didn't think Harlem was going to survive, basically.
Yeah.
But he just said, "Give me." Just pull whatever you have together as to what's surviving now, National Black Theater, all of these things, New York Urban,
And such a bold idea.
And it was, I had no, I'm going to say now, yeah, I thought that was great. I was about as clueless as some of the young people that I see in the office now. Like, why am I here?
When I think about it, Tony, it's just, you think about the times. I'm a '70s baby, as my son likes to say. I'm a 1900s baby. Yes, I was born in the 1900s. But 1974 to have, such, the bold idea. I call you all visionaries, right? Because you decided to, at that time, say, we're going to do something to uplift and empower, right, this community from within. Like, we've made calls, we've asked, we've done outreach, and we haven't gotten the answers that we were hoping for, that we needed. And so it's time for us we want to build from within, and the empowering idea of creating this one day event, right? This one day gathering of community that is now 52 years old is huge. It's monumental. We were sitting around, I want to say when the transition happened, and I was just like, guys, as my fellow executive board members, Marco, Ade, Michael Flanagan, and Christian Green. And I was just like, this is not just Harlem Week is not a festival, right? Like, people come here for all over the world. It is celebrating the culture, the vitality, the rich history that Harlem has to offer and the global impact. I was like, but what was created by you all 52 years ago has now, in my mind, in our minds, it is a cultural institution. It may not have the walls, right? It may not have like the edifice of like some of the other historic spaces and places, but it is to me a timeless cultural institution. It is the thing that the community continues to expect to show up for them all these years and has served the community all these years.
Well, and this is one of the challenges that I'm going to put before you. I'm going to embarrass you because I'm going to say it to you live on TV. When we started that first day, what we were told by the Percy Suttons and all of the great people, the Ozzy, they all talked about what Harlem was in the first Harlem Renaissance and how that really began to give the world an understanding of a culture that had been put away someplace because, we were coming out of that mindset of being slave or Negroes or black ain't right. But when we started identifying who we were, the thought pattern was to take all of that information that we got from the first Harlem Renaissance and start building on those accomplishments, the things, the Arthur Schomburgs, all of those entities, even the Percy Suttons. So we gave the theme, the beginning of the second Harlem Renaissance. That was the theme for 1974. One of the things that I have been pushing, and I can only do it unless I can get the agreement, and I'm going to you first because I know who really runs the show, but I'm not going to say anything about that. I'll
no, I am team.
What I'm starting to push now is 2026 and Harlem Week 2026 with you guys there is the beginning of the third Harlem Renaissance. And that's what I'm starting to write about. It'll be easier if you guys say, okay, we'll go along with that. But whether you do or not, I'm going to put it out there. Somebody's going to pick it up because the truth of the matter is that's what's happening. When we first started the second Harlem Renaissance, if you look at the Studio Museum, if you look at Schomburg, if you look at National Black Theater, we had no hotels at that time.
Right.
But the mindset was from where we are in 74 and where we are now, it has been a second Harlem Renaissance.
Right.
Hotels, look at the Schomburg, look at what's happening with all of the, and that's just in Central Harlem. We're not talking about all of the other stuff that's going on. But with the new leadership and the way things have changed politically, whether it's through the chamber, whether it's going to be through Harlem Week, what I'm going to put into history that I'm going to lay it down is that it's truly the beginning of the third Harlem Renaissance.
It's interesting that you say that. Well, I have two thoughts that come to mind. The first one is I believe you, right? I believe you're going to write this down and you're going to carry it forward. Because
I'm on TV now.
and I remember when you bought the Digital Divide. You bought the Digital Divide and you wrote about that.
That's right. You go back that far. A lot of people not aware we were talking. The
I,
first Courtney Bennett worked with me. Courtney with the assistant DA's
I
office.
do. Wait, you remember
We were in Menacing when I did
okay,
through City College and Columbia University. We
right.
did the first training program in Menacing, telling people about computers
That's
and
right.
and the like. And guess what? The people who trained the most were grandparents. Those are the ones who came and we started working with them because they were raising their children, because that was the crack epidemic and many of their
Right.
kids were gone. And
Right.
they had no idea about what their kids was talking about with a disc or put this is on the disc or whatever.
I
So
remember because I was
that's
not 14. I was older than that, and you were like, "Come here, would you be a part of this?" And so I say that to say that um, often when you bring these ideas, I see you as a visionary. I've always seen you as a visionary as well. And in addition to mentor and all those other things, and when you it strikes a chord with me when you say that, because one, I know it to be true. When you have a visionary idea, it has always manifested itself to come to an existence. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, as you started to talk through that and where we are in these times today, I certainly can see, right? Like we are in interesting times. We are in very interesting times. And you can see that there's like this transformation and change coming. And certainly Harlem has taken on a whole nother change, right?
Mhm.
That has happened over the past couple of years and is continuing to like morph itself into
the
what.
past 52 years. That's the major time to begin. That was the beginning of the second Harlem Renaissance.
Yeah. What do you foresee? I can't wait to read some of your thought pieces around
For
it.
the third Harlem Renaissance, have no
No idea.
idea. All that I know is that just as I had no idea what was going to happen in the second Harlem Renaissance,
Right,
but
right,
I know. But what I do know, and what through the Harlem Partnership Center is going to focus on, is the Harlem hospitality and tourism industry. The Harlem hospitality and tourism industry is what Percy Sutton had in mind when he talked about Harlem Day
Mhm.
tourism.
Right,
That was the whole focus. And then we're doing the 5K and we're doing all of that because we had that relationship with Percy.
right.
What my focal point is that when you look at the greater Harlem area, and that's community boards 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Well, mm-hmm.
When you look at the population of the greater Harlem area, it's over 600,000 people. If you just look at the numbers in 9, the numbers in 10, the numbers in 11, and numbers, and you put them together, because
Right.
that's the greater Harlem area, it's over 600,000 people, which would make the greater Harlem area the 26th largest city in America
Mm-hmm,
based
mm-hmm.
on
Just
population.
the numbers alone.
Larger than places like Miami,
Right,
larger than Baltimore.
right.
Just within that area, which is why when Lloyd became the president of the Uptown Chamber of Commerce, and I became the executive vice president, and we put together the map on tourism, which is in
Yeah.
79. It was the greater Harlem area, because we realized based on the map, the greater Harlem area was so massive.
Yeah.
And that's when we changed the name from the Uptown Chamber of Commerce to the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
To continue with this through the tourism board, and I really believe Harlem Week, because Harlem Week is the engine. If we looked at tourism was a train, Harlem Week has always been the engine, and there are other cars that have attached on to it. But
Right.
Harlem Week was the first one smoking down. Nobody
Right.
was doing what we were doing on 125th Street.
No.
In
Nobody
the
was
70s.
doing that. And you know the other thing too? Nobody was doing it, and no one was even doing anything around the time of it, right? It was like this timeless thing that it captivated all and garnered all audiences.
Which is why all of the people, when we talk about the Tamikos and the Ardays and the like, but do you know most of the people who were into hip hop or who were into certain types of music all came through that stage on 125th Street in some form or fashion?
Right.
You know, whether it was Cool in the Gang, whether it was, Richard Pryor. I mean, it was one of those types of things that it was who's who, because as you were saying, it was the only thing that was happening like that.
And
You
that's
know,
a history. Those are the stories that that people don't know. Like those are the stories that some of this younger generation, like, they don't know. And I feel like it is our responsibility that we have to make sure that that history is understood and shared.
well, you're the last of that generation, which is why Soul City and WACR and Harlem Community News have been vehicles that I've been able to use, because while I'm not here, this conversation will be here long past, and people won't have to wonder what it was. People will be able to see what it is. And with you and the technology, I just put together an article, Seniors in AI. With AI, I might be back here virtually anyway. I just tapped into it. I was telling you about when I first started this information technology stuff many years ago. I'm just beginning to get this AI thing. It was just,
And scary at the same time.
and boy, it can be scary, because whoa.
Yes. Yes, scary at the same time.
But tell us two things, because I can talk to you forever, but we have to start to understand. One, what do you do with Harlem Week? What's your role, and what are the things that you see based on the change of the new leadership?
Yeah, thank you for that. So, as mentioned in the open, I've had the honor of being named the second vice chair for Harlem Week. And so with that responsibility, or part of the remit, so the way I see it is like there's no I in team, as I mentioned. We are all working together. We have our executive leadership board, but then we have our board members that are also a part of it. But in terms of the remit and responsibilities that we've all kind of locked into particular corners of the work, right? So that way we can be collective in the work. And because of the breadth of experience and background that I've had, what's one of the things that we recognize as a very important area for Harlem Week includes the way that we are looking at our storytelling efforts, the way that we are unpacking our digital innovation and our digital capability. We're really trying to hone in on those things, because one thing we do know is that Harlem Week has a global impact. We know that with the Harlem Week programs and festivals that since COVID, we've started to stream them. And so we have hybrid and we have virtual events, and people are seeing them all over the world. Well, how do we supercharge that, right? Like, how do we lift that so that way we can put some systems in place that actually take it to the next level? Partnerships that we can create to further expand on that as well. And so one of the things that I've been working on is just really kind of looking at our digital platforms, our storytelling capability, our social innovation, to make sure that Harlem Week stays on the cusp of what all of those things are, to stay in the times, to stay present, and also to start thinking forward thinking of what that looks like. So we have been spending a lot of time working on 2026 and making sure that without any hitches, that 2026 gets off the ground, that Harlem Week.
It's already off the ground.
It is off the ground. It is begun. that Harlem Week 2026 was going to be here. So we've been spending a lot of time with that, and we have been working on these other areas, and the areas that I mentioned to you. We've been I've been working on those things, and so once 2026, our Harlem Week 2026 is over, we'll be right back at it again. And so those are like what some of the bigger things that we have in store for the remainder of the year to ready set us for 2027, already starting to think about 2027 and what that looks like and beyond. So we're keep all of the great things, the Harlem Week that have existed up until this time. What are some of the ways that we can preserve the integrity, the beauty of Harlem Week, and other ways that we can bring in other innovation and inventiveness to take it to the next level.
And one of the things that amazes me, and I knew you were going to do it anyway, is why I didn't really answer your question about what does this third Harlem Renaissance look like. But you know, the things that you're saying, the things that will start to happen based on using this engine, which now is turning into a rocket. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Harlem Week is the engine for the Harlem tourism and hospitality industry. It has always been. There have been a lot of cabooses and a lot of cars hooked up to it, you know, right, that have their own, but you know, Harlem Week has been that entity that survived. When you last as long as it is, people know that you're serious. You know?
Right.
Your children's children, you know, that it's still happening. But what's happening now, and why sometimes I try to pat myself on the back, I'm so happy, is it's going into another area that I would have never understood, you know, in 74. Just as many people in 74 didn't know what we were trying to do. You know, Lord and I, we were trying to do some other things. And, and it's a wonderful way to record stuff like this so that those who come after us understand that this conversation is historic. Because I was talking to Marco, it's kind of like a changing of the guard, you know, passing the torch, because technically I am the last of the originals who actually was at the table planning it. Because basically it was 4 people: Percy Sutton, Hope Stevens, Lloyd Williams, and myself. You know?
And yourself.
And out of that, all of this has come.
Yes.
So I have given myself the authority to say, I can pass this torch to these young people because I was there at the beginning. And I'm, you know what they say, the last man standing can really tell his own story. You know, hopefully.
What was that?
I said, hopefully that story is true, but nevertheless, whatever that is, he's the one that's telling it.
And I tell you, when I say it, I know personally, and then collectively, it is not something that we take lightly at all. Massive shoes to fill, you know, and so much grace and thankfulness for being at that table, and you know, thinking that something like this so many years ago needed to exist, and for all these years since then being such a pivotal component of continuing to have and make this engine run. Like, I cannot thank you enough for that, because without that ingenuity, without you and Lloyd, and the host of others, and Percy Sutton and the Charlie Ringles at the table, Harlem Week. Harlem Week today, what we're doing today could not have existed. And that's why the theme this year is so important, right? Honoring our legacy, because I mean, it's really that. Um, I would say it's simple is not the right word, but the idea that I'm getting at is it is that important to honor the legacy. Remember where you came from. Remember those before you. Remember those that charted the course and that laid the foundation. Because you can't know where you're going if you don't know, right, where you came from and the ingredients that were put in. So I
And the
think
other part of that is that you also know where the mistakes came from too. When you remember your legacy, oh, don't whitewash it and put all of the good stuff in here. You need to make sure you remember not what you should not be repeating. And one
no,
of the things,
those are the lessons. Those are the lessons that we all learned. But
and one of my visions for the third Harlem Renaissance, with Harlem Week taking the lead in that, is that we have the opportunity to create a way where not only we can capitalize off of the work that's been going on for so many years, but many of the people who are in the tourism related industry in this city within the city, you know, uh, if Harlem Week has the ability to expand, and you guys are starting to talk about that into Community Boards 9 more so, and Community Boards 11, 12, but
yeah,
creating a marketing campaign where the city within the city goes, not only does it begin to create a interesting economic development opportunity, because those who are of the ethnicity of a certain area, if they know that this festival is going on, that everybody is doing things in their particular area, they're going to be more focused on the tourism, and the hotels are coming up, and the like. But more importantly, based on the digital opportunities, for 3 years, Harlem Week has got over 1 billion hits.
yeah.
You, Tamiko, the reason why I'm saying, our conversation is important. You have been in a arena that has taught you how to monetize that type of a situation.
Understood.
And your role will be that in order for it to continue, because this is a new era, we had to struggle, we had to go to, we had to do a number of things, even though, Lloyd, and I kind of, he usually, when it was bad news, I would probably hear it first. but I remember we were on 125th Street, and we had a deal. I won't call their name, but a cigarette company, and they were giving out cigarettes. And then we had another deal. They were giving a lot of money. They were, a beer company. And Lloyd said, we can't do this anymore. He said, I'm telling you, because we're going to lose a lot of money. because before that, there was no struggle. Because there were certain companies that were giving us big. It was a guy, and I'll not go too far. His last name was Cash. We used to laugh about that. Because he said the cash is coming. But when that decision came to stop promoting those types of products,
right?
That's when the real struggle. When I say struggle, but that
it's a decision
can change now. I guess that's what I'm saying as far as my thoughts or my wishes, because you know how to do that, and you guys have the technology and can probably find who can. But any entity that's the head of the Harlem tourism and hospitality industry, if we can get over 1 billion hits in 2 weeks. What can we do in 365 days with all of the festivals and all of the different things that take place, all of the museums in
That's
that
right.
greater Harlem area, all of the restaurants, all of the festivals. We don't even know the Three Kings Day, all of those types of
Yeah.
things.
I love that you said that. I
You
love that you
know,
said that because the idea is that how do we extend
yeah,
Harlem, right? It is not
without
just
having to extend by just creating the partnership. We're doing it now with over the east side with. But how do you begin to? And that's how we did it. We didn't
right.
do all of these things. We just said we're going to do this at this particular time. Tell
Yes.
us what you're doing, and we'll promote that as part of an overall entity.
I see, what it's like. It's almost you to make an analogy, it's like you plant a tree, and then a tree has very, very deep roots. And so I see the tree and I see the deep roots as being Harlem Week every August. That is the roots of it all. But then what you do and the way that you plan, how do you extend, is that you create branches, right? Your tree starts to create branches. And those branches are what make up how does Harlem Week continue having the conversation within the community, having programs within the community, having opportunities across virtual and digital experiences with the community, the Harlem and all the Harlems of the world that extend beyond the the time in August when we know that Harlem Week as a cultural festival exists. So I wholeheartedly agree with you, and that's like some of the things that we're going to be working on. That we're working on from I want to say from the floor, right? We're working on. We already have our calendar in place for after the 16th when we're about to meet to talk about 2027 and beyond. So I wholeheartedly agree with you. I wholeheartedly.
Well, that has always been the case, except for it would be meetings where we would go away and start talking about
Oh
this.
yes, yes, yes.
You were some of those
I
meetings.
was too young to go, but I remember the retreat.
I probably was too young to go too, but nevertheless, but the bottom line is that, again, for those who are listening, you can go to harlemweek.org to get the schedule of events, and there are many things that are taking place. But I wanted to have this conversation with Tamiko because I wanted to record history, because
Mhm.
Tamiko, in my view, is the person that is going to really be able to do some of the things that I truly believe with the opportunities that we have.
Mm.
A lot of it is going to be dealing with what you have been trained in. It was almost like the ancestors put you in a certain place and created a situation where it then put you into another position so that you can take advantage of that. You
That's very
know,
special. That actually that resonates with me in a way that um, on another level, like on a spiritual level, a level that like connects to um,
all things happen for a reason. Uh,
do.
all of the things that we're talking about has a spiritual significance to it.
Mm, that's right.
Even to the point of me now reconnecting to Africa. Because
Mhm.
that's going to be the final component in my view is to have Harlem Week really connected with what's happening in northern Ghana and Africa, because that's where it started, actually. I mean, the whole idea of it. But in next, the third Harlem Renaissance, Harlem, I see, and the motherland will begin to develop a greater bridge and connection. We got the Harlem Burial Ground. We have many the African Burial Ground and stuff. And from a tourism standpoint, I believe that is the next phase, creating that understanding. Kwame Nkrumah
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
became educated on Pan Africanism in Harlem when he stayed and was mentored by W.E.B. Du Bois.
Boys, teach, Tony. You got to teach.
One of the things that a lot of people, and you should be aware of this too, so you can remind him when you get a chance, because I know he's going to be coming through. Our mayor's middle name is Kwame. And the reason why his name is Kwame is because his dad was a fan of the politics of Kwame Nkrumah, who became the first president of Ghana. And he was in jail when he ran his campaign.
How about that?
So
how about
it's coming full. It's coming full.
Okay, coming full circle.
But nevertheless, I just want to again publicly say to you, I am so proud of what you guys are doing, and things are going as they're going. We have a Senior Citizens Day that's coming up on the 7th.
That's right.
And we have the Percy Sutton 5K
on the 8th.
On the 8th, and one of the reasons for that, the history of there is that when he was a borough president, Percy Sutton worked with the Reuben brothers to create the New York Marathon.
That's right.
The Reuben brothers lived in Harlem, and their dad used to always run from Harlem around Central Park and back. And when he died, the Reuben brothers wanted to do something to honor him.
Yeah.
And Percy said, well, why don't we let people run throughout New York City? That would be a good, because he was in tourism. He said that would be a great tourism opportunity for everybody.
And that's how it started.
And that's how it started. And ever since then, we've been partners with the New York Road Runners. We do the special New York Road Runners, where over 3,000 people from around the world will be there.
Yeah, running through.
I'm going to end with a funny thing that happened, and and some people say you're lying, Tony, and that's a no. This the first time we did this, because we were doing different things before we actually did the marathon.
Okay.
We were doing the walkathon, and we were.
Oh yes.
But the first time we did it, I was at the front, and I was kind of running up ahead before they actually started it, because I wanted to take pictures.
Right.
And then when it started, you saw all of these people
behind
coming through the community, right? But it was a brother who's African, because Africans, he was way ahead of them. And there was a guy who was drunk. He was saying, oh man, I don't know what that brother did. We got all these white people chasing him. And then he said, but don't worry, because as fast as he's going, they're gonna go catch him. That was my first vision of that. But it's a beautiful thing. They run through Harlem.
And now we have families, and we have all different ethnicities, and so many people that come and they run through. In addition to the run, we also have the Hazel Duke Memorial Family Walk, which also takes place on the 8th as well.
But the history of it is it's in honor of Percy Sutton, who really was the godfather who started all this stuff. Matter of fact, his school was right across the street from there.
That's right.
Harlem Week, he's the one that said we need something in Harlem.
Yeah. And we still do.
So we still do, and we do have.
Yeah.
To you guys. And just before we leave, I guess there's so many different things that are taking place. I know that there's
we have so many things. Hello?
A relationship between the Chamber, Harlem Week, and Ecology at the State Office Building. And I forget the date, but you can find it in the schedule. And of course, the 3 outdoor events would be the 9th at Grant's Tomb, the great day in Harlem, and then on the 15th, Summer in the City.
Summer in the City. Yes, Summer in the City on the 15th, the Great Day on the 16th. You said it.
The Great Day is the 9th, and Harlem Day is on the 16th. The 52nd. The
That's right.
52nd annual Harlem Day.
Let's make sure we say that again for the people. I think because I was going out a little bit. We have the 3 outdoor festivals, a great day in Harlem on the 9th, which is coming up. Then we have Summer in the City on the 15th, and then Harlem Day is our culminating festival, the 16th.
On the 16th.
On the 16th, yes.
And there's a bunch of stuff in it. We would have 3 more shows to talk about all of the stuff. You look at the schedule. But
and please, everyone, I see that you have it here, but the full schedule is on harlemweek.org. So harlemweek.org.
And I know because you are the one that's in charge of it, the Instagram and all of those other things that I don't know about, I'm sure that you've made sure that it's there too, right?
Yes. If you have not followed us or tuned in, please do follow us across our socials at Harlem Week. So you can find us at Harlem Week across our social platforms. And exciting to please tune in because we're sharing all the information and all the things and activities that we have as a part of our lineup. And again, as I mentioned to you, tapping into some stories. So some exciting things happening over there too. So please do follow us and please do stay connected.
And if for some reason you can't get to the event, if you go to harlemweek.org, you'll be able to see much of what's going on.
Yes.
So there's no excuse.
No excuse.
Especially the major events.
There's no excuse.
Say, oh man, I'm not going to call his name. I missed that. I said, well, if you hadn't been looking, you would have seen him.
We are hosting a live stream of, as I mentioned, we have the virtual, some events are all virtual, some of them are hybrid, and those events are going to be streamed. Certainly our outdoor festivals will be streamed live, and all the things that are happening across the multiple stages, you'll be able to tap into that on harlemweek.org as well. And then even after Harlem Week is over, we also will be replaying all of this information. So yes, multiple ways to tap in and see all of the things. But we always say, come on out and join us and come outside.
Right, and there's a lot, and the children is always one where there's a lot of going back to school giveaways, and of course the fashion shows, which is on Saturday now, and
that's right.
There's stories about that. As far as with Lois Alexander and how she had to get guards to put on fashion because she didn't have enough models at that time. Now you got more models than you got clothes.
That's right. We didn't even talk about health. We also have the Black Health Matters, right? And that's even before the festival.
On the
Black
13th.
It's happening on the 13th. So, the one thing that's always been special about Harlem Week is that it is one, intergenerational. There's something for everyone, but we also are tapping into conversations and subjects and hosting events that matter to the community that really are important to the fabric of people, their health and their wellness, and also even environment with our climate change event. So definitely please do tap in and see all of the events that are taking place on harlemweek.org.
Well, Tamiko, I appreciate you. I know that I had pulled you out of a meeting, and I'm sure you're going back in a meeting. I've been there before, and I know what's happening with that. But I'm glad that you were able to take a couple of minutes out.
Thank you. Right before we started,
I called you already.
Open the door. I was like, no, don't. But it's always a pleasure. I'm so glad that we connected. Thank you again for inviting me to join you and have a conversation today. It's always a pleasure to reconnect with you.
And it was interesting. You were saying I gave you the Art of War when you were 14.
I'm going to send you a picture. I have it. I'm telling you, Noah has it now. Your picture. I'm going to send you a picture of the book. I have it at home with
okay.
inside of it.
All right. Well, I'll claim responsibility for you. Nevertheless, okay.
Well, it was great.
Running to each other, but I am just, again, I can't tell you how happy I am that you're in the role that you're in. And as they say, God has a plan. You were created to do what you're doing now, because what you're doing now will be able to create something that the entire community can benefit from with that tourism. Because all we're talking about, as the Honorable Percy Sutton indicated, tourism is the major economic development tool that can get not only New York City, that's what he said, New York State, but of course our Harlem. That's why we did today. And that was his vision. And that's what he said. Look at us now.
Look at us now. Look at us now.
Take care, my dear. We'll talk. And I'm beside myself with joy.
We'll talk, and I will see you very soon.
Yes, we have. I'm sure we do. We have some meetings to go to. So,
and thank you.
Take care.
Thank you so much for still staying so close to the nest. We have to recognize that you are an advisory board member for Harlem Week. So we thank you still for just staying close to us as well and giving us that guidance.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you saying that. but no, it's an inside joke that we always have, but I'm not going to say it on television. The bottom line is that it's like family. One of the things that I can say based on being there as long as at the beginning.
Yes.
Is that the concept of family has always been the glue that would hold us together, because we had some arguments. We had some, I don't like that. We had a lot of that, but just like you have that in a family.
Yes.
And we had a family that extended. Anybody who came into our environment had to confirm. They can't bring a whole lot of BS.
Right.
They have to conform to the energy of what we're trying to do.
That's right.
And so you guys know how that works, and you guys know how to make sure that it continues to work that way. But it's family, first of all. And I don't, just because I curse you out don't mean I don't love you. It means that you was doing something that you wasn't supposed to be doing.
All the courageous conversations.
That's right, because you're a mom now too. so you know that from coming. Anyway, let's just be thankful that we have what we have.
Yes, absolutely.
And thank you, Tamiko. I appreciate it. And that's going to be about it for until the spring comes. Soul City my shows will start back in the spring. Matter of fact, I had to bring Tamiko on to be my last talk on Harlem Week. It was not that. It was really, I had Marco on last week, and I have Tamiko because I will go into history of saying, yep, I've passed the torch. You have to have somewhat of an ego to be. If you don't, you won't make it. Take care, my dear.
All the best.
All right.
I'll see you soon. Take care.
You sure will. You sure will. But again, I really have to thank Soul City for providing an opportunity to document some historic things. We've had some interesting people interviewed over, especially last year, and that information and that data is valuable now, but I'm sure that its value will increase as the things that we have talked about become more real or whatever. But nevertheless, I am again thankful, appreciate the opportunity to be here, and look forward to seeing you guys in the fall. And Halloween again will celebrate its Harlem Day will celebrate its 52nd anniversary on Sunday, August the 16th. So if you are able to come out, if not, go to Halloween.org and you'll be able to see it. Till then, this is Tony Rogers saying, enjoy the rest of the summer. Take care. Bye.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM New York.
Urbanology.